And welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have my November TBR for you. If you hear grunting and singing like music, it's because Sydney is behind my computer and her little swing, so she gets a little fussy. I'm sorry. So originally I didn't even want to film this TBR video because I feel like I just want to like point and be like anything. Because honestly I feel like, especially, I don't know what my reading is ever going to be like lately, so like I have no real plans of anything. So basically anything on my shelf would be fantastic. So we're just going to get into it, and I'm looking at a book that I meant to grab and I forgot, so excuse my little like reach. I'm going to grab it real fast. Okay, so the book that I forgot that I wanted to grab was Reunited by Colleen Houck. I wanted to kind of read this in October, and then I just like never got around to it. I kept thinking about it all month, like I should pick that up. I should pick that up. But then I kept doing like Spookathon and Night Marathon, which were definitely like more thriller based. This is the third book in the Reawakened series, so this is the final book. This is an Egyptian story where a girl is in New York City and she's in the Met, I want to say. It's been so long since I read the first book, and the second book actually. She's in the Met and she's like in the Egyptian area, and one of the mummies comes back to life, and then it's her goal to like try to like bring it back. And there's other like mummies that kind of like wake up from the dead, and there's a whole storyline. I'm kind of blanking on what it is, so I'm hoping that Colleen Houck does a really nice job of reminding us. But like I love her Tiger's Curse series, so like I definitely don't want a half-read like series on my shelf by her. I feel like I would still enjoy it, and I don't love this one as much as the Tiger's Curse, but I definitely want to finish this. So I would love to be able to pick this up soon and finish the series out. A book that's kind of interesting on my TBR is one that I feel like is going to make or break my decision on something about him, and that is Magnus Chasing the Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan. This is not my bookmark. My husband picked this up like 2 years ago, like when we first like moved in, and he got to page 176 and then stopped. He got really into the Percy Jackson series and the series back when his school kind of had a like silent reading time where like he was allowed to like read with his students, and then they kind of cut that out. So he like stopped reading. This was the series that he was the most interested in too, because this was like the Norse mythology, but he obviously couldn't fit. He just doesn't have the time or the ability just to like sit and read when he gets home. That's like the last thing he wants to do, so he hasn't continued with it. This is the next book that I have to read. I own this one. I own the third book, and then I also own the first 3 books in the Trials of Apollo series. I think book 4 just came out this month or last month, and I've kind of lost my steam with Rick Riordan. Like, I don't ever see myself trying to gravitate towards these books. So I feel like, and every month I kind of look at this like, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, and then I never do. And I have a feeling that, like, if I don't get to it in November, I'm debating taking it off my, like, Goodreads TBR, like, that I own. Like, I'm not going to unhaul these by any means, because I feel like these are books that will last through the ages that I would like Sydney to possibly read when she's older. So I definitely wouldn't like get rid of them, but I definitely feel like I need to take the pressure off of myself for reading them if I'm not actually going to read them and enjoy them. So I'm going to try this, and if I don't get to it in November, I'm going to unhaul them from my like own TBR and just like have them on my shelf and not feel the pressure that I haven't read them yet. So my goal is to read this month. Then I have a whole bunch of thrillers that I would like to get to. I'm currently reading Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell. I only have about 110 pages left. I was reading this at the end of Night Marathon, and I didn't get to finish it. So my goal is, after I finish filming these videos, to finish this. So I would like to finish this one. There's a bunch of perspectives. There's one perspective of a woman who is on the run. You can tell she's running away from her husband. It's really kind of cool because it actually is in second person. So it refers to, whenever she refers to her husband, she refers to him as you. So that's fun. It reminds me of the book You. And then the second perspective is a man whose wife has gone missing. And then there's also another perspective of like the detective who is trying to find his missing wife. So that's fun. Then the book for Thriller Talks After Dark has been announced, and that is The Other Mrs. Miller by Allison Dixon. And this is the pick for, like I said, Thriller Talks After Dark with Kendra Loves Books, We Be Bookin', that's Jacqueline, and then Shelby from Shelby Taggart Reads. I don't remember off the top of my head when the live show is. I don't know if they've specifically announced it. I know they talked about, I think, potentially like the 24th. It's like the week of Thanksgiving, I think, and it's a Sunday this time. I don't know anything about it, but if you are interested in picking it up, I bought this the day they announced it because it was $11 on Amazon. So if you are interested in joining a hardcover that came out in 2019 for $11, you can't go wrong. It says, 2 women are watching each other, only one knows why. So it sounds really good. Then I have 3 more thrillers that I'd like to get to. I'd like to get to Tear Me Apart by J.T. Ellison. This book is massive, and I just feel like if I wait till December to read this book with Christmas and everything going on, I'm not going to get to it. It's like almost 500 pages, so I would like to get to it this month, potentially. It's about a woman who is like skiing or snowboarding and has a really bad accident, and she needs like a transplant of some kind. And you know how they do like blood tests to figure out if you are a match for somebody? She finds out that her parents are not her parents. That's terrifying. A book that I did not get to during Night Marathon that I would like to definitely extend into November is The Au Pair by Emma Rue. This is another book that has been on my shelf for a long time. Like, I thought that this was a 2018 release. That's how long it felt like it's been on my shelf. But it came out in 2019, but I think I've had it since, like, it came out. So I would definitely like to get to this one while it's already on my mind to read. And this is about an au pair that goes missing. So their mom kills herself, and then the au pair goes missing, and now it's like years later and the kids are trying to unravel what happened. And then this book is going to be featured in a haul. It's in my vlog too when I got it, and that is In the Hall with a Knife by Diana Petrofriend. And this is a YA novel that I cannot wait to get my hands on. I saw it on Instagram and I just had to have it. I can't believe I didn't even know it was coming out. It came out October 8th, so I would have pre-ordered it if I knew it was coming out. And this book is a first book in a trilogy, and it's a clue mystery. It's about these kids who are at like this like prep school, and they're in a mansion with their headmaster, and the headmaster turns up dead, and one of them did it. And they've got all witty names that kind of have to do with the board game, and I heard there's a lot of board game references in here, so I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Then I've got some other books that I would like to get to this month. I have To Have and To Hold, which I don't really have a choice. This has to be read this month. And it's by Betsy St. Amant, Becky Wade, and Katie Ganshert. And this is 3 autumn love stories. So if you remember last year, I read the, I also called them like the season series. I don't know if they have a name, but there was like a summer, spring, autumn, whatever. And I started in autumn, so I finished it up in the summer. And now this series is the same way, where there's one for each season, and I have all of them. So because I finished the summer one, now it's time for autumn, so it's time to read this one. And I kept being like, I'll pick it up in September. And I'm like, you still have October, November, you're fine. Didn't pick it up in September. So then I got to October. I was like, I still have time. It's now November. I don't have a choice. It needs to get read this month. So I'm excited. I don't know anything about what they are, but there's a September wedding, an October wedding, and a November wedding. And that just sounds fun, especially because we have all the weddings in the world that we're going to. We just went to one in October, and now we have one. So today's Friday. We have one Sunday, and then we have one next Saturday. So we've got weddings at the wazoo, so perfect time for this one. Then there's a trilogy that I would like to finally finish as well, and that is All Roads Lead to You by Jennifer Probst. I almost picked this up near the end of my pregnancy, but then I talked myself out of it because I was like, I'm going to want this when I need to read something fast with having the baby actually here. So it's finally time. The baby's here. Time to read this book. This is the third book in the Stay series, and I really like this series. It takes place at a bed and breakfast. Each book so far has followed a different sibling. This is the last book. The first one followed the brother. The second one followed one of the sisters, and this one follows the other sister. So I'm excited to finally get to this one, especially because the sister we haven't seen too much of. She kind of stays kind of in the background, and so I'm excited to like actually get to know her and see her fall in love. Then, because this book has just been on my mind, and I have like the Instagram picture in my head that I want to do when I finally read this book, so I need to just read it, and that is A Piece of My Heart by Tegan Hunter. I was recommended this by Shelby from Shelby Taggart Reads. I mentioned her earlier, and somebody is working in a hometown, working at a pizzeria. That's all I know, but it sounds fantastic, and I need to read it because pizza. I love pizza. I need to read this. Then another book that I've been like putting off for no real reason. I think it's because it actually lives on this shelf right here, which is like the bottom shelf, so I feel like I just like forget that they exist sometimes. And that is The Only One, that's not what that says. The One You Can't Forget by Ronnie Lauren. This is the second book in the Ones That Got Away series. The fourth book comes out in December, and I loved the first book. I gave the first book 5 stars. I like flew through that book, so I definitely need to get my hands on this one, so that way I can pick up book 3, and then I can pick up book 4 when it comes out. So definitely want to get my hands on this. This series follows these friends that were, well, they're not, I don't know if they're all necessarily friends, but they were at school at prom when somebody kind of like shoots up the school, and they are the ones that survived. So I love that premise, and I really like seeing their growth and their love, and I can't wait to get to this one. This follows new people. The girl is a survivor, and I don't know if the love interest is a survivor or not, but I'm all here for it. So I want to read this month. And then the last one that I would like to get to this month is When We Left Cuba by Chanel Clinton. I know this seems kind of silly because it's not summer anymore, but I meant to get to this after I read What Happened in Havana, Last Night in Havana. Why am I like blanking on what it's called? Next Year in Havana. Which is right here, because I just heard that there's a third book coming out, or this author is coming out with a third book, but it had to do with Cuba as well, so I have a feeling that it's connected, so I definitely want to make sure that I stay caught up with this series, so I would really like to finish this one, especially because I've been in the mood for some historical fiction, so why not? But again, this is a loose TBR. I could totally change my mind because, like I said, I literally wanted to just go like this to you. Like, hi guys, welcome, and then this is my TBR, because I don't know what I really want to read, but at least this is a solid start. And yeah, so if you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts down below, and I will definitely see you guys really, really soon. Bye, everybody. I know my last video cut out early, so I'm hoping this doesn't do that.